This is our official Meta Monday, and we decided a few weeks back that we would start to do a in-depth general project overview on Mondays, and as well drop some of the larger information for the coming week to 2 week timeline. Uh, just as a way of having a dedicated, organized event, since we do hold so many of our AMAs, and many of them become informal, and we just kind of flow different directions the entire time. We wanted to have an organized one just to be able to share with the general community. So this one might flow a little bit different than some of the ones that you've listened to before. That being said, let's go ahead and get this thing started. My name is Chris. I'm the meta captain within the community as well. I, of course, am the founder of MetaBUSDCoin. We are a Binance Smart Chain project that has been, that launched on December 19th for our public, through PancakeSwap public sale. Sorry, guys, I apologize. I'm being motioned to move. Give me just a second. Sorry, I apparently had parked in the wrong place. Anyways, alrighty, sorry. Restart this thing. My name is Chris. I'm the meta captain, and I just wanted to go over a general overview of the entire project. We are a Binance Smart Chain token that launched on PancakeSwap on December the 19th. We have quickly gained a lot of momentum, some traction through a lot of community support. This is a community project. And what I mean by that when I say community project is we truly try to remain dedicated to keeping our community involved and informed in every way possible throughout the entire process. From the moment that we decided how we would do our pre-sale and our launch itself, we actually opened that up to the community to discuss, made sure that everybody was understanding of the process, making sure that everybody was okay with it, and fully informed the entire way. As soon as we launched, we decided that we would stay true to that service. So that's why you see myself and the other team members. We have Nick Henry. I think he now is showing up as Meta Henry in the Discord. He's been known as Big Henry since the start, but he should show up now as Meta Henry. He is the co-founder. He handles all the business relations for MetaBUSDCoin, as far as business outreach, brand partnerships. We also, as a close pairing, works very well hand in hand with them, is Luca. He goes by Luca in the chat. Everybody here knows him. You've probably participated with him on many occasions. If you want to know why I don't say his last name whenever I say it, is because I don't want to butcher it, and I know I would ruin it every time. And I apologize about that, Luca. But you can read his last name. It's on there. We also have Cody Dobbs. He is our in-house artist. Everybody should have seen plenty of his work by now. He's handled all of our graphics designs that are on our website, as well as a lot of the advertising and banners and stuff that we've produced and shared throughout our personal channels, whether that be Telegram, Discord, Twitter, so on and so forth. Whenever you see a lot of that stuff, that comes directly from him. All of us, as well as many other team members, stay dedicated to the community in the form of interaction and engagement every single day. We're not going to change that. We're always going to be around, and we're always going to try to answer any and every question as soon as possible. As well, hear the community, take their advice, take their suggestions, and actually try to implement them when at all possible. If it fits our roadmap, our path, and our goals, and it works well with our general mission, we will pursue these things. If it whether it's an influencer that somebody wants to see, or whether or not it's a change to the contract itself, like a tax change or something like that, if it's something that we hear from the community repeatedly, we automatically pin it to an internal discussion board between the team members, and we start to work out these things, whether or not it's something that we should and can consider, whether or not it's something that is worth pursuing in the moment in time. And that's something that's never going to change from us. We're always going to keep it that way. And as we continue to grow and implement some more of our products, we're actually going to be opening up easier forms of uh, voting interaction with the community, especially as we grow. We're going to need a little bit more formal ways of engaging in those processes of decision making, but that's well within our roadmap and within our scope. That's what we're aiming for. It's what we're going to continue to do. And we believe that as a core value, that is something that it not only will help us grow together as a community, as well as keep the project fun and keep the project engaging for everybody involved. We understand that you're invested and you're here. So if we can give you a way of being involved with your investment, we're going to try to give you every single tool possible. Some of it will take some time for us to be able to implement some of uh, our grander voting schemes and stuff like that. But in the meantime, we'll do everything that we can possible. And we're constantly improving on those functions, on those possibilities. And we should have some good updates later within the week on some new systems that we're going to be adding into the Discord to be able to have a little bit more formal and a little bit more accountable voting, if that's the best way that I could put it. Um, I'll leave more on that for later on in the week, but I do have a few ideas of how we're going to be able to implement that. It was given to me by the community. I think I heard the suggestion about a week ago. I I did listen, and I have paid attention. I have been researching it as much as possible. But there's different ways of verifying whether or not you're a true holder, and allowing a voting process directly through Discord. And we are working on getting that done. Again, it will be later in the week before that's implemented, but that is something that's on our plate right now. And then from there, as we expand, we will actually have different on-chain voting processes available. That'll be a little bit further down the road, but more information on that the closer we get to that key moment. And on that, um, just a real quick side note, I did check the AMA questions before I came in here, and I was pleasantly surprised that there was an actual question within the Discord AMA questions channel. And any of you listening, if you ever have a question that you can think of that you want to hear a team member actually discuss about, you can always post it in there if we're not immediately available on the Discord itself, or if you just want to actually hear it discussed in front of everybody, then that's a really great place to put it. The question that the person had was, what time or what date will we be in phase one? It was worded strange. I think what they meant to say was, at what point will we be complete and finished through phase one on the roadmap? Some of you are definitely new in here, so this is a really great moment to go over this. Our roadmap was specifically laid out with not exact dates and times put on there, because I'm a true developer, and any true developer will tell you that as you develop things, the system and how you continue to push forward changes ever so slightly. depending on what roadblocks you might hit somewhere, you decide to take a different path and converge on something else, and then come back to maybe that one problemed item. This is common in development. So I am wholeheartedly truthful with my entire community, always have been and always will be. We will work through all of our development items as quickly as we possibly can. We believe that the way the system that we have in place now is working extremely well and will continue to work extremely well. But more than likely, you will see different parts of different phases on our roadmap blend together. And a perfect example of this is we already have our VR rooms, spaces, and vaults already framed out, is how I would put it. We already have them in existence. We are implementing different ways of theming right now and different ways of importing your wallet itself that's in existence now. Because regardless of whether or not we bring on our own wallet and testnet from our own private application, that's just a window that bridges you to the smart chain itself. So we're already working out the different systems of pulling that smart chain information into our general spaces. That's something that's definitely labeled right now as a late phase item on the roadmap. But currently that's being heavily developed in the background before we've even really cranked out the 2D Flash style game. That being said, Flash style game still on the roadmap. It's a phase 1 item. It's still going to come out fairly quickly. More than likely, we're gonna drop the NFTs first before we have the Flash style game. But we'll have that Flash style game out shortly after that. What I mean by all of this is everybody should know that our roadmap is very fluid. We're working on our products as quickly as we can for the ones that we know we need to get to market first in order to make sure that we establish that footing, and we will continue to work on all of our roadmap items simultaneously as best as possible. And on that note, I actually pulled Warguile off of doing any further development on website changes because of some of the breakthroughs that we had on the VR side of things. So he's actually no longer working on the website reiteration that he was playing with. And I discussed this earlier in main chat and Discord because a couple people asked where we were at on those websites. I was not actually all that thrilled with what he presented, so that's not actually something that I'm going to share with the community. We're just going to kind of scratch that for now. It felt really disjointed and not exactly what I was looking for. That's fine by any means. He was just doing something to help out because he knew I personally was swamped, and I'm still vetting other outside web developers right now. But that being said, we kind of met on that last night, talked about some stuff, pulled him back off that. I'm going to be working on that this evening, or not even this evening, this afternoon. I'll start probably around 4:45 is when I'm going to sit down in front of my console, do a little bit of work, and I've got a meeting with another web dev at 6:30. So something is getting done there. That's obviously my top priority item right this very second because we did have the audit come out. I've shared the audit with the community. If you have not seen it yet, you can find it in the important announcements section on the Discord. And as well, I believe it's been pinned in the Telegram. We haven't put it out anywhere else yet. I don't think we've shared it on Twitter or anything like that quite yet. Primarily because I want to get this website done, finished, looking good, and put up and have the audit on the website itself. So that's obviously my top priority item right this very second. We will have something to show for the community very shortly to discuss, decide, vote on. That is something that will be happening. I want to say that I'll have something ready for everybody this evening, but I don't want to promise something and not deliver. So I will have something available within 24 hours, is what I can comfortably say. Between me and I already have another guy that's been working on something, so hopefully he delivers something great. I'm going to be working on the delivery of a different iteration of the exact same website. And as well, I am actually vetting a couple of other web devs right now. And through this process, we will make sure that we get a professional finished product out very shortly. That way I can add on the audit information onto the website, change a couple other change a couple other things too. I know right now we're missing the link to the rewards page. I will get that updated. I hadn't done it because I thought I would already by now have a whole other website that I'd be publishing, and I apologize that we don't have that done yet. So after I get off this AMA, I will actually go ahead and update those links to at least on the website. The links will at least take you to the rewards tracking page, just because I know that question came up as well. And simply all I can say is I apologize. I'll get that link updated very shortly, and then hopefully by tomorrow we have the entire website updated, or at least we're voting on it. Whether or not it's actually updated right then and there, hopefully we're voting on something. We're deciding as a community whether or not we think that this is the right direction to go, and if it is, we'll update directly after that. And then the very next item, of course, that we need to go over would be the white paper. White paper is something that is just as important as the website. It really is. But they go together. I can't have the white paper done and nowhere to necessarily showcase it if the goal of having the white paper done is to be able to appease the serious larger investor. Because if the website's not right, that serious larger investor is going to already be extremely hesitant. So it really, to me, goes quite hand in hand. I need to make sure that the website is up to par in order for me to be able to put the audit and white paper information on there. At least that's just how I personally feel, and as well as the team itself. We all feel that it's the top priority item right this second is the website itself. And just to be honest with everybody, the reason why we have a little bit of a delay here on these, what really are, what they're major items themselves, they're small as far as development items, is just because each of these things have my personal input. I have to be personally involved with these items to a large degree. So it's all about time management. And we are working on that currently. Alrighty. So the next thing, we're going to talk about where the actual project is going long term. So our initial goals are fairly simple. We're going to be dropping our NFT PFP line. That's our first product number one. Well, I guess second product if you count the token itself, the dividend rewarding token. Product number one. Number two product will be our NFT PFP line. Just for full disclosure to anybody who is listening, all pre-sellers that participated in our private pre-sale, if they held their initial pre-sale purchase all the way to the release date of the NFT PFPs, or if they have at least the balance of or greater than what their pre-sale wallet was, they will be given the initial NFT, one of them, for free. And then we will be releasing the rest through the Binance marketplace. Those NFTs are fairly close. We are going to be having some artwork meetings here within the next couple of days with our artist and start to push that a little bit further down the path. But we have a lot of the artwork already in place. It's more or less just about organizing the launch and so on and so forth of those. But that will be done fairly soon. Again, I'm not going to give an exact date on that quite yet, and we'll start to release more teaser art as the days go on. I have shared some little quick sneak peeks with people within the community, and I've gotten some really great feedback. So I feel pretty confident that uh, everybody's going to enjoy what they see. This will, this hopefully, everything continues to work out right. This NFT line will allow us to raise some additional capital, and we are going to be using this initial capital to go ahead and start our staking pools. And with those staking pools, we will deliver more information on the exact economics of those as we get closer. There was an initial plan that we've actually pulled back from. So if you've been involved from the beginning, I think I've told you before previously that our first staking line was going to be meta for meta. And for numerous reasons and things that I've heard throughout the community and throughout the space, I think we have pulled back a little bit from that. I'm not saying that that's completely off the table, but where before it was a definitive and I felt strongly about it, and I now actually don't feel quite as strongly about it. It's definitely not definitive. So that being said, uh, we have a financial expert on the team. So as that gets closer, he will probably deliver that information to the community himself, or me and him will deliver it together in one form or another. But as soon as we have our NFTs out, we raise a little bit of capital, allow it to build the pool itself through our vested tokens, we will have our first initial staking line available. And from there, we will continuously add additional pools that serve different functions, as well as some governance and voting mechanisms. Um, you won't just be staking coins, we will be staking NFTs. The staking development process will be just that. It will be a process. We will continue to raise capital, continue to build pools, continue to stake different options. That's something that's going to stay. That's never going to go away. We're always going to be looking to lock value and grow the liquidity. And I don't just mean within our personal pair. We're also going to be building additional liquidity pools to allow off-chain access and give us cross-chain support. This will allow us to import NFTs from different spaces and communities, as well as export ours, and serve as an early function and buffer for our cross-chain swapping within our ecosystems. And that is what we will be moving towards next. We are going to put out a wallet application for for Android and Apple. The primary reason for doing this is just to be able to pair in our VR ecosystem with a general audience. The wallet that we will be releasing will function just like your Trust wallet or your just like a Trust wallet does. But in addition, we will be having an AR viewer as well as a VR launch pad. From what I understand right now, and I will actually have to review this better with the VR dev himself, but apparently what the VR Launchpad will be allowing you to do is to be able to, like, quick verification pair your wallet into our ecosystem. So then, like, that in itself will be your login. You'll log into, like, an account, and then within the ecosystem on the headset itself, you would be able to, you'd be able to use your account, like regular username, password, and stuff like that. But then it's automatically paired to your Launchpad wallet. Therefore, that's like your actual signature. And he'll explain that a little bit more in the future, I'm sure. The augmented viewer, what that'll do is allow you to view NFTs, and not just our personal NFTs that we release, but additional NFTs that exist in the marketplace now. Within just through augmented reality, you'll be able to view them within like your room or your space. And right now, that is somewhat of just like a gimmick for our first couple NFT lines, but we do have a specific purpose for this long term. We're working towards it, and you'll get more information from us about that in the near future. That being said, in the meantime, as soon as it's released, you'll be able to view, like I said, NFTs like on your wall. Like if you had a picture or something like that, you'd be able to view it there. And again, we have further purposes for that, and I'll explain that in the near future. I'm sure you can already guess and understand what some of those functions and purposes would be, though. As soon as we have our wallet in place with our VR Launchpad, we will probably go ahead and then, because at that point in time, as soon as that's released, we would only be releasing that if we already do have our vaults, our initial vaults and spaces built and consumer ready. So at that time, we would probably also do a paired launch with at least the personal vault. And what I mean when I say this is a virtual reality wallet room that is your personal vault. So whenever you launch through your Launchpad, you're able to go into a room. In this room, you have an interactive teller. This might be a little robot. This might be a little like ATM machine. You punch in a number and it launches you into a window. Or it's like an actual clerk that is interacting with you personally. But this is giving you access to your existing wallet. So you're able to see your coin balances from your different cryptos, as well as view your NFTs, and all your other collectibles that you may have. And hopefully, in time, we will also be able to personally interact with certain NFTs, not just our MetaBUSDCoin NFTs, but there's actually in existence different projects that have NFTs that you're able to interact with through augmented reality. So we are already in like private talks working on different partnerships that we think will be an easy onboarding for even just that part of this interaction in this space. Just being able to bring in their existing artwork into just a wallet or vault and actually be able to interact with it in your personal space. That being said, once we have enough data from users on a wide set, and we're able to make sure that function and security is working well within a personal vault ecosystem, we will then open that up.
I thought I was like, no, I'm just gonna go.
Sorry, we will then open that up to a general lobby. and this will be like a large bank lobby of sorts. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this would be like a large bank lobby of sorts that branches off into different rooms. And while you're in the main lobby, you'll be able to interact peer to peer with any other user of this lobby. The interaction between you is completely up to you. You can do whatever you want. But our side of it, the tech that comes in, is we're working right now on facilitating proximity trade. And what I mean by that is whenever you would approach somebody within this space, you could personally on yourself. And sometimes I really wish I had a visualization whenever I was discussing some of this. If you're unfamiliar with VR, a lot of the times in a VR setting, you will have like a display menu that is attached to an item. So you might have a watch on your wrist that you can then tap. And whenever you tap this watch, it brings up a window, a, a viewer, like a browser almost of options and menu options of things that you can do. So you would, if you got into proximity with another individual, another user, you could then tap on said watch, open up a window, or ask to initiate a trade with said user, and that individual can approve the initiation, and then you two could trade directly with one another. Coins, collectibles, so on and so forth. As well as having that capability, we of course are going to have a decentralized swap available within the lobby itself. I mean, it's going to be a bank, obviously. So if you're in a bank, what do you typically do in a bank? You go and withdraw money or send money or so on and so forth. So that will be an option as well. Um, that's the back end that supports the overall trade function between the peer-to-peer connection. Uh, and of course, again, we're only going to move this until we've tested, debugged, and checked all security function within our private peer review and any other security firm checks that we can get. And roll this out to our community, to the general public. As well, within this same exact like bank lobby setting, so you're still just interacting peer to peer. There's going to be different options of things for you to do. If you're familiar with the VR space, then you're probably familiar with like VR chat or rec room and different different lobbies like that. This will be a lot of the same. You'll be able, of course, add different elements and add different interaction spaces within the main lobby just to keep it engaging and fun for our community. Um, with that being said, we have started to get into the actual purpose of our token itself. The token is what's fueling everything that we've already been doing this entire time. Not just the capital development all the way up until this point, but it's already started to play a figure of a purpose of commerce, because the token itself will be what covers the gas on any of your swaps and exchanges and trades within the space. As well, we will be able to introduce pay to play, so to speak, games within the general lobby. So the same arcade flash style game that I talked about early on in this AMA, this same exact game will serve a purpose in our VR space. It's the only reason why we're developing it to begin with. Later on, we will import it into this space, and it will be just like an actual arcade machine that you'll walk up to, and you can start playing that arcade game. That in itself is going to remain free because it's going to be free from the beginning. It's just a something that's going to be an interactive rewards-based game. So what we're actually going to be doing on with that is we'll have an attached leaderboard, and weekly, depending on who's like top rank, they're going to receive some BUSD, dependent on uh, dependent on traffic and so on and so forth, and how many people are playing the game. We'll probably set an algorithm of some sort to determine what the winner receives by the end of that week. But again, that will be free. That will continue to be free. That'll just be an interactive item within our VR space. But we do plan on having like an NFT claw machine inside this exact same main lobby. And what I mean by that is you'll be able to walk up to a NFT claw machine. All of the boxes within the claw machine are going to be just boxes. Different shapes, different colors, stuff like that, but you won't know what's inside of them. All of them will be mysteries. You'll pay a fee, you'll get to play, and if you actually win, then you actually get to mint right then and there, or receive an NFT. This will be added to your collectible. That interaction will take place all right there, and as soon as you leave that machine, that'll already be in your wallet. We'll probably end up introducing a few of these machines to do different things, and I'll discuss that a little bit further in the future. But just to give you an idea, we'll have like one machine for an end of life NFT, and what that means is somebody who has owned one for a while and you've enjoyed it, and it's MBC, sorry, it's a MetaBUSDCoin NFT of sorts, for this exact mechanism at least. You've owned it for a while, you've enjoyed it, it's been great, but maybe you want to move on to something else. Maybe you want to get a different one, and you just want to go ahead and swap everything back over. And, of course, pay a fee, so on and so forth. But you do that through the machine, and it gives you back credits to go and get a different NFT. And this just allows another cycle of life on any products that we're releasing. That's at least the concept here. And then next to that machine, maybe you have one that produces and mints a brand new NFT every single time. And that could be one of ours, or maybe that could be another project's, another NFT line altogether from a completely different team that decided to go ahead and onboard with us and we offer these services for them. And of course, obviously, there's the fact that it's still being fueled by the MBC itself. And if we have to do this trading pair through a pool of some sort because it's off chain, the only way we'll onboard that person to begin with is if we've had that bridge already built and we have that pool available. As well, within the same general lobby, you're going to have the option and availability of media consumption. And what I mean by that is you'll be able to go into like a movie theater and view movies, not just ones that are available for like rent or to buy, but we're also going to allow you to host your own private movie room. And we're still working out some of this right now as far as like the numbers behind how many viewers and stuff like that. But your own small private room where you'll be able to stream from your storage space, and I'm going to leave that ambiguous because it could be from on the headset, it could be from your own PC, but I don't want to have to go into the explanation of how you do that right now. I'm sure I'm going to have to in the future. But you can view your own media content within that same lobby, within your own private setting. Invite other people to view that with you. Hopefully, the idea is that in time, as long as our space continues to grow and we become the primary crypto option for the VR setting, that we able to expand on this media consumption through brand partnerships and allow possibly even in time, stuff like Triller or other pay-per-view events to be viewed directly within our space and paid for with crypto. And I think that it's a great possibility as long as we get some of our pieces in place fairly quickly, and we are working diligently on that. So other than the media consumption and the gameplay, we keep talking about commerce, and I am 100% serious about this. This is the main goal, at least in my mind, as far as getting everything else done, getting all that other stuff in place, and having the ability to introduce a robust marketplace for not only digital assets as well as real world items. So just like as if you were shopping on Amazon, you were actually going to be shopping in a 3D setting, a virtual world. And not all items themselves have to be imported as a 3D item. So you might have just a section of the marketplace itself where you're viewing a an innovative, interactive 2D screen. So you can still, like, you don't, everybody thinks, because I've already been working with partners behind the scenes. I've been working with brands, trying to figure out who's going to work, who do we want to try to bring in. And one of the first questions a lot of these brands ask is, so do we need to, don't you need to have 3D modeling of all of this in order to do the onboarding? In some settings, you absolutely should, and that might be the best decision for that product. In other settings, it's not going to help. And what I mean by that is like a shirt. Having a 3D model of like a shirt or a pair of pants or something like that isn't necessary as long as you can layer the item itself appropriately within a specifically for commerce. The interaction doesn't have to be every time your weird avatar trying something on and trying the clothes on. That doesn't have to be the interaction. I'm sorry. The interaction itself can be and is and will be the social setting of the marketplace and how it's built and how you are able to go through it and how you're able to interact and experience it. That in itself is the innovation. As well as if you do have other brands that have the ability to provide the 3D modeling, that's fantastic. And a lot of them do. A lot of your big brands and a lot of more and more people are starting to quickly work on that because they realize that that is the space that a lot of this is moving into, and it's quickly growing. But just to give you guys an example, if you walked up to, say, a large open space. Sorry. Yeah, I need to visualize this. I apologize. Soon, very soon, we will be doing some in-house VR AMAs where we will actually be within virtual spaces and we will be able to display this a little bit better. I don't want to give it any injustice without being able to visualize this for the audience. And we will stream these directly on YouTube and on the Discord itself. So it'll be live and we'll be able to ask questions and field all that right then and there on the spot. That should be ready to go, completed, I believe, as early as this weekend. I had to talk to the VR dev again last night because I thought he was already finished with everything and that was ready to go. He said no, he'll be ready to go on all that stuff starting, I believe, on Saturday. we're having to work out in-house like browser issues, but we are working that out right now. But that in itself is what the project is all headed towards. We believe that being able to provide this innovation in the space, and it's twofold. It's not just um, the crypto part of it, allowing crypto to be the facilitator of the marketplace. That's the part that I love because I'm a DeFi guy to the bitter end. But allowing or having the ability, I believe, to quickly grow a community within that virtual marketplace that does actually function with commerce. I think that in itself is the larger innovation, and you will see a lot of Main Street consumers uh, buy into Meta just to use the marketplace. We might be the very first crypto they've ever owned because they want to use the marketplace, the lobby, and have the interaction with the community that we will end up onboarding into this space. It's interesting altogether, is all I can say. We knew it would work out this way. We ourselves are going to have a large body of crypto enthusiasts that are very eager to get into the metaverse. So we will be introducing them into that space. And as soon as we're doing that, I think it's going to draw a lot of attention from new metaverse enthusiasts that might not actually be crypto enthusiasts. Hopefully, we'll be meshing these worlds together, doing such, attract more and more attention from larger and bigger brands. And over time, onboard larger and bigger partners. That's the goal. I think we have a great path set in place to achieve this goal. And so far, the journey has been fantastic. It's far from over. We're just getting started, but we feel very confident that we will be first in market with a lot of this innovation, and either way, the major contender within this space moving forward. Again, I feel confident about this, and I'm willing to field any questions that anybody has so far. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey, I'm driving right now, but can you hear me?
I can.
Excellent. Hey, not so much a question, but just an idea that popped into my head. So these virtual spaces are going to have multiplayer. You're going to be able to see other people, right?
Correct.
So what about having boardrooms where other crypto projects can show off their project in almost like a board meeting, and then they can host their
Absolutely.
AMA within it?
Absolutely. Yeah, that'll be a given. What we'll do is we'll probably end up having like brand partnered rooms, and we'll also end up having like, because if you're familiar with like the spaces now, and most general lobbies, you're always able to like pop your own little bubble or pop in your own little space, and we're gonna have that as well. So if like any of you want to like pair up in like 4 or 5 or something like that, and then go into your own little private room, you'll have that ability either to travel back to one of your existing rooms or to just like create your own little temporary bubble. As well, we will give any partners that do any onboarding the option and ability to do something like that. We'll give them their own dedicated space as well as advertising. That gets a little bit more into like the actual business aspect of the overall project, though. And I would probably need Luca here to discuss some of that, and me and him need to have like a private chat about that before we actually do that. But we are actually right now working out all of our LLC information and legal entity stuff. We will release that information as soon as we have it all in place. Uh, but yes, that's just another side little part of the overall business. Is we're of course going to introduce different ways for for projects and brand partners to introduce really discreet and really immersed advertising. And again, I really want to tread lightly on that, like, because that's something that is, as a VR enthusiast myself, and I really am, guys. I've been a VR fan for a really long time, and I want to make it clear I am not at all a big advertising guy or advertiser whatsoever. I just know that it will help in business relations with some of these brands and partners over time, as well as projects, and introduce a little bit of extra capital that helps build our liquidity within the project and helps everybody's investment. As a developer and as a VR enthusiast myself, and that we will tread that line very carefully, and anything that we do introduce in any type of ad space that is in existence will be extremely discreet and will not be something that takes away from the immersion itself. I swear. I swear on that. Anyways, sorry. Is there any other? That was a great question or a great comment. I appreciate that. Is there any other comments that anybody might have?
I just wanted to interject and kind of follow up on that and say, like, yeah, that's one of the coolest aspects of it, because not only are we, going to be doing the generalized metaverse stuff that you see out there a lot, but charging people relatively low amounts to use our space as a meeting function, as a boardroom for these larger projects. Like I kind of posted in chat, imagine SafeMoon is having their boardroom on like the 30th floor of their building in the metaverse, and they've got their advertisement outside the window, and they're live streaming that to their group. The potential is honestly limitless.
Yes, correct. Well, I feel good. I feel like we have quite a few people in here. I'm sure somebody has a question. All right. Well, while people are thinking, I'll just touch base on a couple of smaller items. This morning I did lock additional liquidity. I wanted to go over that again just for everybody who's here, if you haven't been here previously. We, of course, lock all of our liquidity. I do not burn the liquidity pair token that, in fact, I'll do a quick summary of how this works and what this is, so everybody here, in case you do not know or do not understand, we all know and understand. What decentralized exchange and function all boils down to is in itself the liquidity pool, and then the smart contract on the liquidity pool. That's what the entire function is. So whenever you create liquidity, what you do is you pair in one token with another one. In the case of Binance Smart Chain, you're pairing BNB with whatever token that you would like to operate on the Binance Smart Chain. So we set our pair, and as soon as we set that pair, we lock it. Whenever you set the pair and you lock it, or before you even lock it, whenever you set the pair, the liquidity provider, which in our case is PancakeSwap, sends you a token that represents what that pair is. And now that you have this token, it's called a liquidity pair token, you're able to exchange this token back for your pairing. Whenever you have a contract that interacts with that liquidity pair, you're able to create new liquidity on trades. Whenever that liquidity is created, because it's tossed in there, somebody tosses BNB in there, they get Meta out, it creates a new liquidity pair token as well. Those liquidity pair tokens go somewhere. Where they go in the case of our contract is to a wallet. That wallet is a wallet that I personally am in control of. I then send those liquidity pair tokens to a locker that's on DXL, and I lock it. I've kept it all. It's all locked until late December of 2022. That being said, a lot of the times, the reason why you won't see other projects continuously lock liquidity is because they actually burn the liquidity pair token. And that's something that I could do right now immediately. I could just set that liquidity receiver to be a burn address. But if we need to migrate, or if we need to make a significant change for one reason or the other, and it could be for any reason. It could be as small as we just want to move to a different contract, or it could be as large as, who knows, maybe one day we want to move over to a different chain, maybe even our chain. The easiest way that we'll be able to facilitate that at any point in time is having all of our liquidity pair tokens. So that is the purpose of me keeping the liquidity pair tokens, at least for now, until it's a large, significant sum, and they'll all be locked away. And after a certain point, who knows, we might feel comfortable about changing that over to a burn address. Again, I'll let my financial expert tell me when I should do that, or if I should do that. That's something that I leave up to him, and I feel good about the decisions we've made so far. Again, at all times, 99% of liquidity is already locked. The only unlocked liquidity that ever exists is the liquidity that has been generated within no more than a 48-hour period. I always lock all liquidity within 48 hours, most of the time within 24 hours. Sorry, I know that was a little bit in-depth of explanation of how that works, but and I haven't had a lot of questions about it, but I have seen it come up in chat once or twice after I lock it, and I send it to everybody, because as soon as I lock it, I'll post it on Discord and Telegram that I've locked new liquidity, and I add that to a list of all liquidity locks, so anybody can go and verify that they do exist and how long they are locked for, and as well, as if you just click on one lock, DXL is convenient enough that they actually show you how much of the overall liquidity is locked and where it's at. And that same information is available on BSC scan. That being said, after I've done that before in the recent days or in the recent past, I have gotten strange questions along the lines of just, why don't you send it to the burn address? We have a reason for not sending it to the burn address, and that is the reason. We don't know if we will have to migrate in the future, but if we do have to migrate or want to migrate or something of the sorts, we want to be prepared to do it in the easiest form for all of our investors. I'm sure plenty of people have seen debacles take place, even in the recent months, with people's migrations. We don't think we're going to have to migrate, but if the day comes, we just want to make sure that we're not in that same group of laughable mistakes. So, that being said, we take our investors extremely seriously, and this is the best solution that we think of to ensure that. Alrighty, is there any questions or comments?
Yeah, man. Are there any competitors you guys have explored in the market?
The short answer to that is no. There are... Okay, so as far as the actual space that we are walking into, no, there is not an existing competitor. There are other brands and projects that are working on other aspects that hopefully present great partnerships. I'm working in the backgrounds with a few now. That being said, as a team, we're still working out a lot of the legal entity stuff before we can really push the ball forward on those brand partnerships, if that makes sense. we have to make sure that we have a lot of our ducks in a row as far as legality stuff, just to make sure that nobody is taking any ideas, so on and so forth. I'm not naive enough to think that there's probably not a sleeper project out there that is planning on a lot of the same things as we are. And then as far as like just the general meta tokens that you've seen out there, so many of them are just fake, are like no intended project whatsoever, that I've stopped paying attention to them, if that makes sense. They kind of just like I got disgusted with it for a while, just to be honest with everybody. I'm in a better headspace now with it, and I'm glad that we have the meta in our name, because we are a true metaverse project, and I've been involved with metaverse development since way before it was cool. Is all I can say. But yeah, so to tell you the truth, as far as the recent couple months, I've been so busy that I haven't been able to explore the possible competition that may or may not exist out there. Um, but as far as our exact space goes, I know my place in all of this, as far as what I would know if somebody else was a direct competitor, and no, there is not current one now. And then as far as development in itself goes, I don't know of too many that would be able to compete with us on that particular aspect of this project. Just to be honest with you. Fantastic question. Is there any other questions that anybody might have? Alrighty. Well, again, guys, we did get that audit out. It's in the community right now. I'll have it published as soon as I've got the website in place. I'll be working late into the evening tonight to make sure that we have enough to show to allow voting to begin. And as soon as we have all that in place, we will go ahead and publish it as soon as we have like decisions gathered from the community. I do understand that might end up being a process as far as voting between iterations, and then also fielding any suggestions per each iteration, if that makes sense. Because I want to make sure that we have that. I want to make sure that we do a little bit of robust review amongst many people, many individuals, get a large base gathering of information from people before it's all published. We're really trying to make sure that if we're going to make a change and like a website redesign, that we're going to only make it at least only one time for a good while, and make sure that what we put out next, especially since we've been already telling people, and I don't just mean our personal community. I know of large investors that are currently looking and waiting, and they're specifically waiting for those next two items. They want to see the website redesign. They want to make sure that we are pushing forward in a professional aspect, and they want to see the white paper. And I completely understand that. I completely get that. I'm not a perfect individual at all. I started this project with a small team of individuals, and we've quickly grown it. We've quickly been expanding the team. A lot of the early development was just done personally by me, and I did the best that I could, and I focused on the things that I thought were most important. Uh, I fell behind on a couple key items, and I admit to that, the white paper being one of them. I kind of dropped the ball a little bit there. I apologize. I'm picking it back up now, and we are rushing to the end zone with it, so to speak. I'm sorry, I don't know sports references. I hope I said that right. Oh, but yes, we're back on it. We're back on the ball. I think that's what you say. We're back on the ball, and we are taking care of it right now. And I hope, again, that within the next 24 hours, I will have at least the website iterations in front of everybody voting, and then within the next 48 hours to have, or sorry, realistically, just so everybody is aware, the public white paper will not be available until late into the week at the earliest. We can put out a public light paper beforehand. I will discuss internally with the team, decide what they would like to see there. More than likely, I'm thinking that my team is going to tell me, Chris, you're being too open about it. Just wait till we publish the entire thing. But I will leave that up for discussion, and we will have that discussion. In the past, we've already put out the white paper within the early community, so it does exist somewhere on this server. If somebody wanted to dig real deep, but or actually no, it's probably already auto archived. But that being said, we are making changes to that existing white paper before we publish it any further, as well as introducing graphical design and so on and so forth. Does anybody else have any questions or concerns or comments? Alrighty, guys. Well, if that's all we've got for the day, I'm going to hop back into, well, I'm actually still waiting in line for my kids to get out of school. But as soon as they get out of school, I'm going to hop back into the console. I'll be in chat, and I've just got a couple meetings today that I got to wrap up. Other than those few meetings, my entire time is essentially dedicated to getting that website in proper order and in front of all of you all to see what we're working with. Again, I did not forget, I'm going to fix the links for the rewards tracker essentially immediately as soon as we get off this AMA. That way, if anybody is going to the website, at least the information that's on the website is at least correct in the meantime. I apologize about that. I didn't even think about it. I should have done that as soon as we got the new rewards tracker up. That should have been the very first thing I did. I apologize. It slipped my mind. But I'll take care of that right away. And sorry for any inconveniences that it's caused anybody. Notified. Alrighty. Thank you all very much for spending some time with me today. And tomorrow, more than likely, the AMA will be a little bit later in the day. We'll probably go back to a late one just to make sure that I can cover as many of my goals as possible from now until then. So we have a little bit more hard data for you guys. And then again, our Tuesday AMAs are going to be Tech Tuesdays. So we'll do a deep dive into a specific aspect of some of the technology that we're going to be onboarding here in the near future. Obviously, can't give away any trade secrets, but we can talk pretty robustly about how it's going to function and what your interaction will actually be. That being said, again, thank you guys for spending time with me. I appreciate every single one of you, and please keep up your community engagement. I know we voted really hard on a bunch of stuff towards the end of the last week, so the team's kind of given us a little bit of a break on talking about all the voting stuff, but we are still on all these coin listing sites, and the more votes that we can get and the higher up in the ranks that we get, the more exposure that we receive. So we do have all these links available in the Discord. They're under the voting tab or vote here tab, and then in the Telegram, they are under our link tree. These listings still exist. You can still vote on us. You can pop us higher up on the list, and it does actually help. So we are going to start to resume our voting marathon, so to speak. So you might see a little bit more out of that from the team, from the mods, in the coming days. But we want to make sure that we stay trending on as many spaces as possible. That being said, I know there was some talk about hashtags for Twitter. Not only do you want to use the trending hashtags, but we all need to make sure that if we are tweeting, we're using the same hashtag for MetaBUSDCoin. I've personally put out the one that I wanted to see numerous times and nobody uses it. So I'm just going to go with the one that everybody else uses. The one that seems to be most popular amongst our users is either, or using both actually, use both of these. Hashtag MetaMilitia with 2 capital M's, and then hashtag MetaBUSDCoin with no caps. Those two are the most popular from what I can tell from the analytics that I judged, I think like a day or two ago. That being said, if you're tweeting about us at all, or if you're tweeting about anything, throw those hashtags in there. It's not just to expand our general awareness. That helps for sure. But what it really does is increases our social score. And I've already mentioned earlier that the audit that we put out already that's available for the community, while the audit itself is fairly robust, it's a smart contract audit. So that's really what it goes into the general security of the team itself, who we are, and how the contract functions and its vulnerabilities. That's what this audit was all about, and it came back saying that we're extremely safe. The next audit that we do is going to go a little bit deeper into the project itself, how the economics work, how the, of course, the same things as the other one, but as well how the social impact and study of the project itself is, whether or not there is a good engagement within the community amongst each other and with the team, so on and so forth. So the earlier we can start to raise our social scores on some of these different platforms, the better and the easier overall that process will go. And we'll get better results, and that'll just overall lead to bigger and better things happening for all of us. And I'd appreciate that greatly. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here, guys. Thank you all again very, very much. I appreciate every single one of you.